This was an anonymous bassoonist knife. These are our two studio.
It's not mine.
It's not hers, but I have sharpened hers before.
That's true. That's why she is the authority here. Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a special guest from our Jacksonville State University studio, Lydia.
Hey!
Here to help us talk about sharpening knives. We are going to talk about keeping your knife sharp, especially because most bassoonists I know have some of the dull knives out there, like you can't scrape butter with them. So Lydia is going to help us with the sharpening and grinding down of knives. So if you're having challenges with your knife catching or it's just not taking the cane off like you were interested in, we will walk you through the process today. In order to do sharpening the knife, we have two stones.
The red is labeled as fine from the company Diamond Whetstone, and the green is super fine, so you would use that stone last. The three stones also can come in a value combo pack with a blue coarse stone that you would use if your knife is extremely dull, and separate, they're about $30 to $35 a piece, but you can get the combo pack for $90 to $100, depending where you look.
We got ours on Amazon. I'll leave the link to what we have in the description box. We not only have the stones, but we also have a little bit of water. We do the sharpening with a bit of water just as a lubrication. Now, the nice thing about these stones is that unlike some of the other stones that you can buy on the internet, these do not require water. You can do it without. And they don't require any oil baths. So they are the most low maintenance stones you can purchase. They also come in a pocket size, but we don't suggest the pocket size. Why is that?
We don't suggest the pocket size because to sharpen your blade evenly, you need the entire blade in contact with the stone while you motion it against the stone, but the pocket size is only about half of the width, so you would have a very hard time trying to sharpen a blade on a stone so small.
So we are going to go ahead and dig into the sharpening. We have confiscated a bassoonist in our studio's knife, and this bassoonist shall remain, well, nameless, but I think this is going to give us a great option for how to grind a knife down and the sounds to listen for as you grind.
Okay, first we need to pour a little bit of water on our stone. Like Eryn said, it is for lubrication, and it's also for easy cleanup, because you may not get all of the metal shavings off while it's dry. So we like to wet it and then wipe it with a paper towel when we're done. So first, for grinding, you need to lay the blade flat against the stone at an angle where the entire blade is resting against the stone. And I like to place my three fingers equally across the blade to maintain a equal pressure on the blade the entire time. I grasp the handle with my left hand, and for grinding, you should probably hear a little bit of a rough sound while you start, so let's listen for that. Do you hear it? I'm using very little pressure, mostly just the weight of my hands against the blade, and I'm making sure that the entire length of the blade is in contact with the stone all the time.
It's interesting to hear how the sound shifts.
Yeah, you should hear it start to smooth out. I'm applying a little bit more pressure now, just to get it down about as far as it will go on this level of stone. Then we will move to super fine. You can keep doing this motion if it's extremely dull, and then eventually you're just going to do long strokes across the stone, but still maintaining the entire blade against the stone, otherwise it will sharpen unevenly. I think we're ready to move to the green stone. Alright, so we're going to wet it.
our tablecloth wants to move with it.
It
Let's see if I can
does.
hold on to it a little bit.
Yeah. Smooth the water out with your finger and repeat the process on the green stone. Do you hear how the sound has shifted? It's not as rough sounding. It doesn't sound like gravel anymore.
You can hardly hear it now.
Yeah, and that's what you want. That's what is telling you that your blade is getting sharper. Almost sharp enough to make a reed. You could do a few, 5 to 10 long strokes against the stone. The entire blade is in contact, and the pressure is coming from my right hand. This is a bassoonist knife, and there's a difference between a bassoon burr and an oboe burr.
What's the difference?
The bassoon burr is a lot smaller than an oboe burr. Whenever you're making a bassoon reed, you don't want the knife to catch on the cane at all. Whereas for making oboe reeds, which is what I do, you need a little bit of a burr to get the bark off. You don't start with bark. That's why you have profiling for bassoon reeds. We don't have a profiler for oboe reeds. So we profile ourselves, and that's where you'd need a bigger burr. But to make the burr, I previously had my knife this way, with my right hand on the blade and my left hand on the handle. It's going to switch. I'm going to have my right hand on the handle and my left hand on the blade. I don't do the 3-finger thing. Instead, I'm going to very slightly rotate the knife at an angle. It's about a 10-degree angle upward. There should be just about a millimeter of space in between the blade and the stone. I'm going to guide it across the stone with the entire blade in contact with my left thumb. And using no pressure at all, I let the stone do the work for creating the burr. For both types of burrs, oboe and bassoon, your thumb is going to stay in contact with the stone while it guides the knife across. For this, we talked previously about the bassoon knife. You're going to rock it up about a 10-degree angle, so there's about 1 millimeter of space. For oboe burr, it's going to be slightly more than that. You're going to rock it up to about a 15-degree, maybe even a little higher angle, and so there will be between 1 and 2 millimeters of space in between. Guide it with the thumb all the way across, and you should hear a really satisfying sound. It's very nice.
It reminds me of ice skating.
Yeah, it really does, and then you know you're ready to move on to the fun part, the productive part of finishing a reed. Okay, about taking care of the stones, you need to make sure you dry it off before you put it away. That's why I always have paper towels with me. We have covers for ours, just like that.
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep up on all the events happening at JSU, you can always follow my Instagram, Twitter, or even my Snapchat. If you aren't subscribed, you might consider subscribing so that you never miss a video, and we will see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye!
Today is the much anticipated and highly requested video of Scrape the Tip of a Bassoon Reed. The tip of the reed is the most important portion of the reed that I love to scrape because it not only affects the resistance of the reed, but it also alters the response. Now the burr is the edge of the knife, and we put an edge on the knife so that you can choose...
We're human. We're very human. And you're going to have your right blade on the handle and your left hand on the blade.
Say that again. You're going to have your right hand
on the
say it without me.
Thanks. What do I say? I'm like, thanks for having me.
You are not allowed to do it. Thanks.
I know. I made that blue mark myself.
How did you make that blue mark yourself?
With fingernail polish.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. So,
This happened when I was gone one time, I guess.
yeah.